Good morning, second grade. Today we are going to be talking about main idea and details. So if you haven't already read that book, Plant Defenses, I want you to go ahead and read it now. It's linked in the Google Classroom. And if you have read it yesterday, because we did work on it yesterday, I want you to go ahead and just reread it one more time. Remember, reading a book even twice, 3 times, 4 times is never a bad thing. It just helps you learn more. So we're going to be working with that book again today. We are going to be talking about main idea and details and what that is. So main idea. The main idea is the most important part or what the author is trying to have you learn from that section. So what is the point of the paragraph? Why are you reading it? What do you have to learn from it? What is the most important thing that it's trying to say to you? Details are the parts that support the main idea. So I want you to think about this because we wrote our pollinator books, and in our pollinator books, we did a focus statement and then we did supporting detailed sentences. So I want you to think of that like your main idea and your details. The detailed sentences are just your details, and then your main idea is just like your focus statement. So we're going to go ahead and read page 5 from Plant Defenses. If you want to turn to page 5 in Plant Defenses, we're going to go ahead and read that one, and then we're going to talk about what the main idea is of this section and what are the detailed sentences. So thorns, prickles, and spines. Some plants grow thorns on their branches. Animals that try to eat those plants can get cut or scratched. Some plants have long thorns that keep animals away. So if you remember, this book was about how plants defend themselves. So this book was about how plants defend themselves. And this section, what do we think it was mostly about? I want you to take a second to think. As I reread, I noticed that this was mostly about thorns. This part was about thorns. So that first sentence, some plants grow thorns on their branches, that would be your main idea of this section. All the sentences that came afterwards were just ways to support that, and that makes them the details. So if we're looking at page 5, those are the details. Animals that try to eat these plants can get cut or scratched. That's a detail about thorns. Some trees have long thorns that keep animals away. That's another detail about thorns. Now turn to page 6. We're going to read this page and then again practice what the main idea and what the details are. Roses and some other plants have prickles on their stems. Prickles are different than thorns. Prickles grow out of a plant's soft stem. Most often, prickles grow on small shrubs and flowering plants. Thorns usually grow on trees or large shrubs. So if we're looking back at that, what did the main idea, what was it mostly about, and what was the point of it? Why was that section there? If you said that this was mostly about prickles, then you were correct. This section, the main idea was that first sentence again. Roses and some other plants have prickles on their stems. So that would have been your main idea. And then your supporting sentences or your details. Prickles are different from thorns. Prickles grow out of a plant's soft stem. Most often, prickles grow on small shrubs and flowering plants, and thorns usually grow on trees or large shrubs. So it's talking about the differences between prickles and thorns, and it's mostly about prickles. Now, you may have noticed that on page 5 and page 6, the main idea was in the first sentence. While this is not always the case, this is a general idea to usually give you where you might find that main idea sentence. Usually it is that first sentence. Sometimes it is not, so you cannot always say that it's the first sentence. You still need to read it. But if you need a clue to where it might be, looking at that first sentence is usually a clue on where you might find that main idea. Again, not all the time, but sometimes. So it's a good key to look back and try and figure out exactly if you need to figure it out and you're not able to. Maybe reread that first sentence on that page again and see if that's what the rest of it's mostly about. What I want you to do now, what I want you to do now, I want you to reread page 7, page 8, and page 9, and I want you to write in your journals what the main idea is and what the details are after that. So I want you to write down the main idea and details just for review. Remember, the main idea is the most important part, what the point of the paragraph is, and what you are supposed to learn from reading the paragraph. And then the details are the parts that support the main idea. They're just sentences that come after the main idea that support it. They're what tell you how the main idea works. They're what's helping you with the main idea. Okay, so I want you to do that now. That is your task for today for your reading. I want you to do that and then write it in your notebook. You can send a picture to your teacher to show them that you got this work done. All right, guys, I hope you have a really great day. Tune back in tomorrow to see some more. Bye.